xQc, a very popular online streamer, said that lyrics aren't really that important in hip-hop, and it's more about the vibe. I'm Sean Lonegevity with Bringing Down the Band and the New Old Heads podcast, and this is my Unpacked series where I go a little bit deeper, usually on New Old Heads segments, but today I'm actually going to watch a video from Professor Skye's record review. Just as a forewarning, I have not seen this yet, but I do generally respect Professor Skye's commentary on things of this nature and music. So I'm going to watch this and kind of give my commentary based upon what's going on here.
Hi, it's Professor Skye, and this isn't even going to be like a proper video. I don't even really have notes. I'm just kind of getting up here. I got my child monitor. My kids are about to wake up. The coffee is still brewing. But I just wanted to talk about a couple things that I've seen over the last day that I think I might have some interesting perspective on. So there are two, content creators who have said things sort of about hip-hop and about rap music in the last couple of days. And I think it bears sort of further discussion. One of them is xQc, who went on a sort of a rant, particularly against Anthony Fantano and against hip-hop fans in general for thinking that lyrics matter when all that matters is the vibe of the music. And then the other is another hip-hop YouTuber, What's the Dirt, who discussed the fact that there is no such thing as the culture. That when we talk about the culture, which usually applies to Black American hip-hop culture, that it just simply doesn't exist. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna burn anybody or call anybody any names or anything. It's gonna be a good faith appraisal. I personally do not like the way either of these figures move, but the point of this is not like to tear anyone down. It's to address these specific points, right? Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's not there. Okay? It's an anti-intellectual point to not understand something and then to make your personality, to make your belief system around the fact that you don't get it. All right? I don't understand physics at all. I can't do I can't do an equation, anything like that. But I'm not going to tell you that gravity doesn't exist. I don't understand it, but it's there.
Yeah. Man, there's no hip-hop culture? What has my life been this last 25 years? Oh my gosh. Production matters, vibe matters, but lyrics are one of the main elements of lyricism, obviously, but within hip hop and rap music. It doesn't help that both these gentlemen that he's referencing are white dudes who are commenting on hip hop music and hip hop culture and don't have any type of connection to it outside of xQc, What's the Dirt doing? He got big during the Kendrick stuff and made some stupid comments. But also, like, xQc's just recently started making beats.
Okay? The importance of lyrics, you don't understand them, they're there. The culture, you don't understand it, it's there. It's a particularly dangerous kind of anti-intellectualism, as Curtis King pointed out in his video on xQc's.
I hate anti-intellectualism. It is like the bane of my existence.
You see, to make your personality based on your ignorance. So let's just talk about these two things very briefly. Again, I gotta keep checking my baby monitor here. Okay, xQc saying that no one cares about lyrics. Anthony Fantano also did a response, which is better than I would do, and also he was being directly addressed. But there was one specific example, which I think is very illustrative, where he says that lyrics are so unimportant that sometimes he listens to German rap or Chinese rap because all that music is just sounds out of a speaker. Thank you, xQc, for illustrating my point specifically. You don't understand. Like you don't understand Chinese rap says things in Chinese. German rap says things in German. The words have meaning. It's not that they don't. It's not that you're sitting there. You are taking your subjective experience and making it objective reality. You listen to music, and for whatever reason, I assume xQc is a smart guy. I'm not saying he's not a smart guy. I don't know anything.
xQc is Hyperonline. It's generous to call him a smart guy. Whatever
about him, except that he's like pals with Drake and doesn't even know Drake's catalog very well.
I became very aware of him when I've seen him in debates with political streamers, and I've known of xQc for about 5 or 6 years, so I've been paying attention to him. He's not somebody who generally He's very learned on very many subjects. He's Hyperonline. He streams all day, so he's super rich, like he's in this very, very much of a bubble. He doesn't understand how culture moves because he's not a part of anything. Like his culture is literally like his streaming room. Smart, intelligent wouldn't be the adjective that I would use to describe him.
I'm not going to assume stupidity. I don't know. He's a successful guy. But I am going to assume ignorance, because ignorance, by the way, just means not knowing. It's not the same thing as stupidity, all right? So, like, you just don't know what it means. So you hear the music and you don't know what it is. And like, like a frightened chipmunk, you are terrified by anything you don't understand. Like, so it's okay.
I think also to streamers such as xQc, and this is why I give him a little bit more of a harder time, is because, like, people such as him, he has such a major platform and such a major audience. Certain people should, I don't know. I don't really care if this is super controversial, just how I feel. Certain people shouldn't have a massive amount of influence if they are not learned on certain things. And it's the same thing that we see with like people like Asmongold becoming a political streamer after he was just a gaming person for a long time. Like, he's one of the biggest right-wing streamers now, and he just simply doesn't know what the he's talking about. And the amount of influence these people have simply for existing online in a space and being able to talk to people, that people will listen to them. I have seen people try to address xQc in a one-on-one type of situation, and it just not translate, and him not care to go from A to B. He is so big to the point to where, like, there's this egoic thing that happens that he feels, again, I'm projecting a little bit here because I don't know exactly how he feels, right? But they demonstrate as if they feel they are bigger than any type of critique when it comes down to anything of merit. So to explain something to xQc that, like, lyrics do actually matter, I don't think he cares.
Just sit with that ignorance. I listen to Chinese rap and I don't understand anything either. I might look it up. I might find out. And there's one more problem, which is to say that you only like rap music that doesn't say anything means that you don't understand rap music that doesn't say anything. Rap music that doesn't say anything is still communicating something. There is substance in all lyrics. All lyrics carry meaning, even if it's silly, even if it's just for a goof. Hell, that Tyler, the Creator album came out. I've listened to like the first 15 minutes before doing this. Even when he's saying nothing, he's just saying like, party, 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 right? Even when he's saying that, that carries a message. It pertains to his life. It pertains to his life view. It means something to him and to the audience to whom he's speaking. All lyrics, all music transmits a message and a culture. It is not exclusively about how you feel listening to something that music derives meaning. There is a larger world behind every word that's spoken. There is a culture.
Yeah, and I think even, I know it was What's the Dirt that said that, but What's the Dirt is creating a culture around the people that follow him. xQc has created a culture around the people that follow him as well. There is an online streaming culture that didn't exist at one point in time. Now it does exist. You know what I mean? These things exist. It's kind of silly to say that a hip-hop culture does not exist simply because you don't exist in it, and because, quite frankly, you aren't invited into it, or you stand in contrary to the people that define what it is. So,
going on to my next point, What's the Dirt? So What's the Dirt? I speak about him every once in a while. He sort of attacked people who I respect, so I don't love that. But he made this point recently, which is funny because I actually agree with a lot of it, in theory. So he made this point that there is no such thing as the culture. That's not what I agree with. But he pointed out that people who are claiming to be guardians of hip-hop culture often do not speak about a lot of hip-hop music. Now, this is something I've noted. It drives me personally crazy because I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of hip-hop videos, and the only ones that get views are the ones about the hot topic of the moment. So whatever, Drake, Kendrick, Clips, etc.
This has been the bane of my existence since I started bringing out the Bandit in 2009. And existing in a place where no platform allows you to thrive I could go deeper on this, but to me, it's a platform issue. YouTube is great, but at the same time, it does not benefit. It's not beneficial to me to sit here and do a breakdown lyrically or anything of anybody unless they are super well known and people are searching for it in the algorithm. And even further, if I want to do such a reaction to it, it's not even monetarily, I'm going to get demonetized for it if I want to break down a video with music on it. Now what Skye does is very particular. Like Skye does a very good job of like the way that he approaches this. And he has built a really cool community and a base of people that, really enjoy the approach that he does. But for example, me as a musician, I don't want to sit and review music. I don't want to be super critical of music. I just don't. What I would like to do and what I have been doing for the last 16 years is I want to amplify it. And I want to be able to amplify that to a group of people that like the same things that I like. And I've been trying to figure out how to do that in a way that makes sense for my time for 16 years. And when I say I've done this for 16 years as a labor of love and gained no money off of it whatsoever, it's just what it is. And, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to playlist. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to do a podcast and talk about stuff. But it does mean that I have to navigate in a very particular type of way. And it is extremely frustrating because I also agree with that, because I do feel I had some of these same sentiments earlier this year that I wish that us as hip hop media would talk about music a lot more. But the problem is the climate is not set up to do so to where like I can do that and not be poor,
This video is going to perform better than my video last week on Gaius Gavada. What are you going to do, right? But I agree. That's annoying. But like, who am I to be annoyed with the culture? The whole part of the culture is it's the people who created this artwork, who created this form of expression from their heads, from their life experience. They created this thing. And I'm speaking specifically about Black Americans, okay? And again, I've made many videos. Anyone can make hip hop, but not necessarily anyone can be a part of the culture when it is where this art comes from. And that can be alienating, and that can make you feel like, no, but I understand in a way that they don't. No, I don't. I don't. Just because I reviewed more rap albums doesn't mean I'm a part of the culture. Doesn't mean I understand where it came from. Doesn't mean I get to determine where it goes. And it sure as hell doesn't mean I get to decide what it is or if it exists. We are visitors, guests, observers of the culture. All right? And just because I don't understand it, I don't understand the culture. I get frustrated with the culture often. But it's because it's not mine. So what's what is it to me? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I don't know. That's just my little
I obviously I'm sitting here as a white person who's been a part of hip hop. I always say that I'm a part of hip hop culture because I am. It's just the truth of it, but I'm definitely not a Black American, and there are definitely areas where my voice is not necessary. But I do kind of reject the idea that hip hop culture does not. Depends on who you are. Depends what you live. Depends what your day to day is a part of the culture, whatever that exists in. And I think there's just different levels of it. And, Skye, who's a professor, he's a different part of the culture than I would say that I am, as somebody who has been a part of it, lived it, engaged in it on a completely different level, as opposed to somebody who is a little bit different from me as well. And also every single Black person that is a part of it to some degree based upon what their experiences are. Because I do believe that there is a difference, an inherent difference between being a Black American and being a part of hip hop culture. Even though it all is derived from hip hop, hip hop is derived from Black culture, there are Black Americans and Black people that have nothing to do with hip hop culture, because Black people are not monolithic in that particular way. Nobody is monolithic in that particular type of way. I think it's a very nuanced conversation. And it's not even honestly one that a conversation I need to have. I view myself as not a guest, but as a permanent resident in hip hop without the ability to necessarily become a naturalized citizen. You know what I mean? I consider myself a permanent resident in the guest house. You know, I'm a permanent resident. And I do reject any commentary that is directly around the contrary to that. Even though I respect Skye's opinion here, I think there are differences in depending on where you come from. You know, like if you don't live that life at all, never lived the life, if it doesn't ingrain, if it's not in everything you do when you get up in the morning, you know what I mean? Like if it's not just a part of you, like literally a part of you, if it's not something that you can turn on and off. So, but anyways.
Brief thoughts here on a very pleasant Monday morning, just before 9 a.m. I don't even know if I'm going to release this. I may or may not. I'm not like trying to start a beef war or whatever. I just think that it's really important that people who don't understand stuff just stop being so proud of it. That's all. I don't understand the culture either. I don't. But why don't I get more reviews? Why don't I get more views on other stuff? I don't know, because I don't. All right. Well, anyways,
it's a good video. You know, I respect his take, and I respect his stance on the culture and, you know, his distance from it. I think that's fair. You know, and you know, anybody can believe and feel however they want to feel at the end of the day. But I also do double his sentiment. You know, like when I say anti-intellectualism is the bane of my, like it drives me absolutely crazy. We live in a very nuanced world where we're trying to simplify everything that is going on. You know, it's like we want to simplify everything. And because it's making our life easier when we can simplify things, right? And if we can simplify the fact that like, oh, lyrics don't matter because this is just how I feel. And this is just me solely, how I feel specifically. Culture does not exist because I don't experience it. It's like, it's a very self-centered, very chronically online, narcissistic, neurodivergent, potentially even take to kind of have, and to even also feel that your opinion really even matters. Like you really have to have a certain level of narcissism to really kind of truly believe that your opinion matters in general. But Professor Skye does what I cannot do a lot of times, which is be very tactful and very grown up about a lot of his takes. And even though I feel like I'm grown up, I'm a little bit more of an asshole. So anyways, till next time, I'm Sean, Lonegevity. This is my Unpacked series, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.